One. Hello, everyone.
Hello, happy Sunday shift.
Happy Sunday shift. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I just want to say thank y'all so much. Y'all have really been showing up for us. I see that we've like skyrocketed in people who are just like listening to us without like being
Awesome.
on YouTube, which is amazing. Of course, we want you to see our faces, but like, thank you for like having us in your pockets when you take walks and things like that or at work. Um, yeah, but also do us a favor and go like that YouTube. Just go subscribe, so we'll have that
I,
number. We want
I
to see you in that number.
can't imagine what people think I sound like I look like just listening to my voice.
If
Because
you're
I know I
just
sound like a
listening,
child.
if you're just listening, you're missing out because Tanya is beautiful. Um,
Oh my God, thank you. And Tracy has been bringing it in terms of her glassware, which
I'm
I
home
started.
now.
I started the trend, I'm proud to say, and she is taking it and running.
It's because you told me about that website Zeal, and I
Yeah.
just like went nuts. I ended up catching like a Black Friday sale, but I had been in Milwaukee, so I only had, the ones that I had. And so now that I've been home, it's
Uh-huh.
like a different pair every day. I was also telling
Yeah.
Tanya, this is the first time I feel like I've recorded in like I'll say my home studio, aka my bedroom. It's messy behind me. You can even see it if I like move too much.
Mhm.
I
Wait
think
a minute. So is your background blue?
so. My wall is green, but then
Oh,
when I blur it, it like comes up like this. Yeah,
it matches your nails too. I was
a
like, you're
little
so color
bit.
coordinated.
A little bit.
Look at you.
I was very hippie today. I was like, oh yeah, I'm back in the bed. I had like a long flowing dress, little kimono on. I was like, oh yeah,
You
I'm
look,
home.
you're totally cute. Love it.
But oh, also, if you want to buy some coffee, that is going in the savings account for us to go to other GH fan events. Because
Mhm.
y'all seem to have liked us like recapping them, so we want to go to more Zoom stuff. If folks come to Sacramento, like a lot of times we'll go. So anything that you want to put towards the fund, we will put up, and we appreciate you. How was your week, Tanya?
My week was kind of okay. I had a lot of events for work. I had a wild, I guess it's personal, but I had like an interesting week.
Okay.
Um, and so but basically I spent a lot of time out of my apartment in the heat in
Ugh.
East Contra Costa. It has been hot for the first time. And I shouldn't complain. This is our first day. It's almost like our first summer weather. Our heat wave starts in August. And so we have just started it. And I'm saying relative heat wave because in the Bay Area, it's like 60s, 70s. But in East Contra Costa, it's like 80, 90s, 100. And I think we
Yeesh.
had our first 100-day week this week in Antioch. So I was out there
No, thank you.
doing national night out, doing, conferences. It was World Breastfeeding Week. And I
Okay.
did a fair for that, which was nice because frankly, it was an event for women who are pregnant. And I have never seen so many pregnant women in my life. And they all had little kids and they were so cute. So it's great being able to provide them with resources.
Oh yeah.
And then on Saturday, I just, started back because I like to exercise outside. So I went to San Leandro Marina again by myself, rode my bike, and walked 2 miles. And it
Ooh.
was there with a bunch of kids who are part of this martial arts program. And so they were running, and it was just funny to see, kids running. I'm up here walking, taking my sweet time, but the kids were hustling and giving each other props, and I was giving them high fives. I'm like, you guys do it, you go. And it was just
Mm.
like, it was so uplifting. And then I came home and crocheted, and I've been binge watching Dexter.
Ish.
I finished the Dexter series and now I'm enthralled. I mean, a lot of people said that the last season of Dexter was bad, but I enjoyed it. I'm going to watch the next three seasons and just sitting in my home and crocheting. That's it. I'm a weirdo.
I can't get into Dexter. But I used to be really, really deep into Criminal Minds, and then it
Yeah.
just wasn't good for me. So I
Mm.
also it made me jumpy every time I like somebody's at the door, like whatever. I'm like, okay,
Oh
there's an
yeah,
unsub here. I can't do it.
I was feeling it last night because I just got in these blackout curtains, and so my apartment is totally dark. I have like all these lights on in front of me right now, so I can keep it dark so the heat can stay out. And so last night when I was going to bed, I was just like looking over my shoulder and just wondering if some unsub would come walking through my house at any moment, even though
Mm-mm.
it's probably not likely. But yeah, it does make you a little paranoid, but love the show. I'm addicted.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, I mean, I just had like a week of working. I'm just catching up from
Uh-huh.
being on punishment of doing too much traveling.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty decent. I went to a show yesterday. I was telling Tanya that if y'all remember Sandra, who used to record with us, they produced a show called Queer AF, through this like Filipino, like theater company. And it was
Mhm.
great. It was like really, really, really great, and I enjoyed it. But I got in late, and I said, "Whew, I am washed," because I be in the bed. I think I do also need to start doing some like more outdoor time because my exercise I do these Apple Fitness dance videos every day, which have been really
Mhm.
good for me. Like
Yeah.
even if I don't feel like doing it, like I get up, I'm like, you got to close this ring. So, you know. Shout out to
Oh
the Apple
man,
Watch.
which reminds me, I don't even have my watch on right now. I'm
Mm-mm.
slacking.
Keep
Oh
it
well.
on. I keep it
It's
on. I keep it on me. Like if I'm burning calories from sitting there, I need my credit for like
well,
about 2 calories.
I'm taking a day of rest from Apple Watch. You know what? That's my biggest complaint about these fitness watches is like they don't take into account certain things like if you hurt yourself and
Yeah,
you need to take a break or if you're on your period, if those of you who are still having them, none of that. It doesn't take into account. It doesn't care.
it doesn't.
It
It
doesn't care
doesn't.
about real life, how real life interrupts fitness.
Well, here's the other thing, and then we'll get into the show. The
Right.
other thing is you can do things that close your rings, particularly your exercise ring, by like yoga or
Yeah.
whatever. You just have to like count it that way, and that's been really nice. So like if you were like and or like you can do like sit and be fit kind of exercises. Thankfully, I haven't, but I've had people who got hurt who've had to do that.
Yeah, and then they also do actually count everyday activities. So if you're like cleaning your house, that's exercise to Apple Watch. So
Yeah,
I have to give them some slack, I guess.
put on some Beyonce like I always do.
Right.
All right. Well, who was your performer of the week?
Um, this week was just like, but Finola Hughes, I thought it was her week.
Yeah, it was.
She had some great scenes with Liesel,
Hmm.
remembering her time on the WSP and how she's had some regrets over it. She also had some fun and light-hearted scenes with the kids and the dog.
Hmm.
She also had some powerful, scenes with Brennan. And so I think it was we saw a lot of Anna this week, so I
Yeah,
have to give it up to her.
yeah.
Um, I
Agreed.
did, yeah, I enjoyed Carly's scenes, Laura Wright scenes with, her brother Lucas. But I mean, just regular. She's just awesome. Laura Wright
Yeah,
is. So, and that was great. But it wasn't like a stellar standout week for me. Um, yeah,
yeah.
unfortunately. But they're all great actors. So,
Right.
you know, give them props when they,
Yeah.
I even Rebecca Hurts. I liked Rebecca Hurts scenes with Cameron Matheson when she was telling Drew, you need to back off. You need to let her.
You're doing too much,
You're doing too
sir.
much, and I know from experience what doing too much looks like. So
Did too much
she
with
was
you.
right,
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give you some advice, dude. You need to take it. Fortunately, he didn't. So,
Yeah, we'll get into all of that. But yeah, I agree. I think
yeah.
it was Anna's week. I think
Uh-huh.
seeing Finola was amazing. I love seeing
Mhm.
her. Loved seeing her in every aspect. We have to see her at work, at Spy Stuff with the family. I loved all of that. And then
Yeah.
yeah, Laura Wright is just like a pinch hitter, right? Like just anytime
Yeah.
you need somebody to go in who's gonna give you a performance,
Mhm.
it's gonna be great. You put her in, and because she's so consistently good, it's like hard to remember to like even think of her as performer of the week because that's just her performance, you know?
Yeah.
And Finola's similar. I think it's just different because we saw more of her than we have been seeing of her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's hop right into story because I got some opinions this week, as I do every week. But this week, I feel very strongly about some things.
All right, I will let you do that because I don't got a lot of opinions.
Well,
What?
I bet you I unearthed some. We'll see by the end.
Okay. Okay.
Let's start with like Lante, Rocco, and Liesel. So obviously we start the week. They're still doing the baseball stuff, and they're Rocco and Danny are playing for Corinthos Coffee. Rocco apparently is very good, which okay. But Liesel's there and is like cheering him on, and is now trying to take on this role as grandmother. She tries to take them out for ice cream. Jason kind of is like, "Nah, girl, chill out." So Laura is like, "Hey, let's all get together, Lulu, Dante, Laura, Liesel, and like talk about what's best for Rocco." And I feel like Liesel crashed out in a way that I wasn't here for. So Liesel is now like talking about how she is one of Rocco's grandmothers. When they were like, Lulu says, "Yo, you can come to the house. Dante and I will be there. You can answer his questions." And she's like, "Well, does your mother get this treatment?" No, she doesn't.
No, I just thought it was wild when she's like, like when Dante finally had enough of her, he was like, I'm gonna go through the system and I'm gonna find every warrant out for you and I'm gonna apply and you're gonna be arrested. And she was like, well, how are you gonna explain to Rocco that you arrested one of his grandmothers? I was like, when she said the word, like before, I thought maybe Lulu and Dante were, I mean, yes, Liesel did kidnap Rocco just before they were able to take him home. Yes, it was Liesel's idea to do the embryo snatching. But I thought they were just kind of overreacting because she had changed. She had made a difference in her life and she stopped doing all the little crime stuff. But now when she's like, hey, she said something. She said, Britt had like Rocco had Britt's blood in her veins.
Yeah,
And then
what?
and then and then she said, the grandmother thing, I was like, this is wild. Like, what the heck? She just like Britt does not like Rocco does not have Britt's blood. The only thing that Britt did was feed him and keep him in a warm place. Basically, her body fed him
She
and
was an
all that stuff.
incubator.
She was an incubator. None of his genes, none of his blood. I mean, his blood is produced from the cells that his parents gave him,
Yes.
not from Britt. And as a doctor, her saying these things was hecka wild. So
Yes.
she's like, she is definitely missing some. She's going a little crazy. Unless they're actually really trying to rewrite this.
Right.
I really don't think that's a good idea for them to do it. But for her to credibly say some stuff like that, it's crazy. It's wild.
Yeah.
And she needs to stop.
Grandmother is crazy.
Crazy.
What are
Right.
you talking about? I think the other piece of it that like really I was so glad that Dante brought back all the things that Liesel did to him. Because I
Yes.
think that this is the thing, and this has always been a little bit of my problem with like the Brit and Liesel thing, is everybody's like they changed, they changed, they changed. And in reality, like how much did they change?
Right. Well, Liesel still,
Lisa was supposed to have changed by the time she did the brainwashing stuff with Dante. She was supposed to have changed by the time Dante was like away from his whole family. She, you disrupted Rocco's life with this. You disrupted this
Hmm.
whole family with this. All because what you were trying to get even. You wanted to turn him into like a killing machine for you because you was mad about something. This is actually consistent with your behavior, and so it's really tough. I think Kathleen Getty does like a really great job, and because she's so personable, it's easy to like really like Liesel. I think she
Hmm.
turned in some really amazing performances this week, and you really do feel her grief for Britt. So it's like almost easy to forget how wild she was when she first came on. But no, you did all that. And I think there's a difference between everybody else being like, this happened, I've moved on, versus Dante and Lulu. I feel like they have every right to not move on. I don't feel like
Hmm.
Lulu should have had to apologize to her. And this is me as a Lulu hater. I ain't agree with Lulu since the last time Lulu told somebody to get her uterus in like '09 or something like that. Like I don't see it for Lulu, but I saw it for Lulu this week. I was like, no, this is too much.
Hmm.
I wasn't like the difference between Lulu or between Laura and Liesel is that Laura didn't steal an embryo. And that's
No,
actually
the difference is that Laura is actually Rocco's
right.
I'm like, that's the main difference. I mean, she's just it's crazy for Lisa to think anything other than she was complicit in a crime regards to Rocco. And if she wants to explain that, that's fine. And
Yeah,
she is not family.
right.
She is not related. The parents do not owe Rocco a relationship, or Lisa a
No,
relationship with Rocco.
no,
So yeah,
no,
it's and even if she's like, oh, I mean, I'm just because of brings me back memories of Britt. Sure, but that's not Lulu and Dante and Rocco's responsibility to keep Britt alive because they
no.
have no reason to do that, and because they are victims of their Britt's crime. And so, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple of things on this. So I think
yeah.
one, the problem that GH has, and we see this often, is like they will drop things, but then when they want it to be history, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we remember. So we see Britt
Mhm.
like watching something with Rocco being like, oh my God, Ben. His name is not Ben. And you never showed interest in Rocco when you were in town. If we really remember, the kid that she showed interest in was Spencer.
Always Spencer.
It was
Yeah.
always Spencer. So even when she came back, she wasn't ever trying to be around Rocco. She wasn't asking how Rocco was. So now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe that she is like, just sad and really thinking about this kid. Like that don't even make sense. Um,
Mm.
I think the other thing is if Rocco got questions about Britt, he can go ask Nicholas, his uncle.
And also ask the internet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I get
Yeah.
he's like, I want to know.
Yeah.
And
Her personality and all that.
And to be honest, like let's really get into like get your baby a science class. That's what Lulu and Dante need to be getting so that he actually understands what surrogacy is. Even
Hmm.
if if Britt had carried him as a surrogate, this is not the Christina and Molly story. We weren't even on Christina's side during the Christina and Molly story, and that was her like biological child. So why in the
Right.
world why be on the side of Britt and Liesel during this story?
Yeah. It's
Absolutely
wild.
not. No, thank you. And I also don't think that what Lulu and Dante were offering was out of pocket. She's like, "What? Do you
No.
want it to be supervised?" Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Given what you've done to me and that you haven't even apologized, that you have not made amends to me about what you've done. Yeah, of course I want you to be like supervisor on my kid.
Yeah, because you could kidnap him again.
Right.
It's
So
wild.
we have Lulu asking Carly to help her with Liesel. I kind of don't understand what she wants Carly to do because they even said in the same conversation that even if they run Liesel out of town, Rocco can still find her online. So I'm not clear what they're trying to what she wants to do.
The only thing she said was, you need to help me get her out of town. But,
Yeah,
you know. Like Carly's the magic, you know, traveler, disappear,
Right.
whisperer. I don't
But
know. Like,
but even
like,
still in the same in
yeah.
the exact same conversation between Lulu and Carly, Lulu was like they said they acknowledged that even if she left town, Rocco could still talk to her,
Mm. It's really like she's just wanting Carly to be on her side, I guess.
I guess.
Um, yeah,
Because we know Maxie's not on her side. Maxie, through Nathan, loves these Westbournes.
right. So she's just wanting more of her family to be on her side, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah, or maybe she's thinking she can help. She can get Carly to talk to Sonny, and Sonny can get rid of her. But she never she never
No, she
said
didn't say
anything
that.
like that.
No,
So, but that's the
no.
only reason to go to Carly.
I mean, Dante can go to Sunny.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I
But
just, I also think, for me, I didn't care for how dismissive Lulu was of Britt saving Jocelyn.
yeah,
She's like, yeah, but no, it's not. But she actually saved my kid's life, and she's dead. So what are we talking about with her right now?
right. It's like Lulu already knows. He knows that Britt's out
Right.
there.
Well,
Her coma had brought her foresight,
there we go. Well, hopefully.
which is only
Um,
possible on Days of Our Lives. But hey, you never know.
that's right. That's right.
Coma
Well,
magic.
I have been watching Days, and I love me some magic. But shout out to Passions. But also, let's actually get into like Spy Hospital and the return of Britt. Because I think that also goes into like what Anna was so good at. I loved seeing Anna in her element this week.
Mhm,
Too often we have seen Anna kind of be pushed to the side, or her instincts not be right, or her kind of like they've been writing her whiny lately. I don't know. This week, no more of that.
mhm.
She acknowledged like the WSB and like their role in her life. She put together all the clues, and she's toying with Brendan at the same time. I really enjoyed that. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I love her taking her power back. I love that. I think it's great. Well, it's funny to me that WSB it kind of acts like they're actually a legitimate government program because they're like, if you tell Carly it's treason, I'm like, that's not treason, but I guess
They
I
just making
mean,
stuff up.
like it's probably against the rules. I mean, yeah, you're outing an agent, but it's not treason. This is fair. But yeah, there he's always trying to threaten Anna kidnapping her, and Anna's just not phased by any of it. I love that.
Yeah.
She's like, I know what you're up to. You can't fool me. You can't bully me, and pulling it back on it. I think it was funny when she was like, well, when Carly finds out about this, you're gonna be in trouble. And he got really angry. He started yelling at her in a
Hmm.
threatening way more than the idea of Anna being in the middle of it. He was more put off by her talking about Carly in this whole thing than anything, which is,
Right.
again, also wild. If you're a professional spy, why do you care? So, yeah, I love that. But you know what? As a matter of fact, I just think it's crazy because everyone is imbuing Carly with a lot more power than she actually has, and everything, which is funny.
Hmm.
But yeah, I do like that. And she's also kind of she's being smart. She's playing, turning things around on Brennan by getting Jason involved. So now
Yeah.
she knows where Jocelyn is going to be. And she knows, well, I can just fuck this all up by sending Jason over there.
Right.
And that's what she's going to do. So, as I had talked about last week, I thought, everybody's going to wherever that is, Croatia, and every spots are about to be blown up. Soon as Jason sees Jocelyn, as soon as Britt sees Jocelyn, Jocelyn's days as a spy is going to be numbered.
Mm.
So, I don't know what they are planning on trying to do in Croatia, but it's not gonna work. And we almost got a hint of it on Friday when Jocelyn and her man show up to the spa and wanting to get some customer service.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Britt is standing right there.
Yeah.
Now, hmm. Okay, so we'll see where that goes.
Hmm. Well, I want to talk about two things I like. So something I liked about something with Anna and then something with Joss.
Hmm.
So I liked the conversation between Anna and Liesel. Um
Hmm.
I have always had like a little bit of an issue with these characters being in connection with each other. Like I know it's a soap, but because like I hold Anna in such a regard, it's very
Hmm.
difficult for me to watch Anna have to make nice with somebody who kidnapped Robin. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I get it. I get like as a soap, we have to move past some of these things, but for me, it's been hard to move past. I don't like her calling Anna Scarecrow. I'm not a fan of that. Um, like, what are we doing? Why are we still calling Anna that? I don't like that. But I did enjoy the conversation they had. Like, I think Anna was trying to suss out whether or not Liesel knew that Britt was alive. Because I
Hmm.
appreciated that when Jason went to Anna, not last week, but the week after or week before, to be like, I think this. Anna was like, yeah, maybe. Because she trusts Jason's instincts that much, that it wasn't just like
Hmm.
out of nowhere grief, but that like this could be true. Because Anna's
Hmm.
seen so much. And so
Hmm.
for me, it was like she was trying to suss out whether or not Liesel knew that too.
Hmm.
And just Liesel's grief was so fresh. It was like, okay, no, you really didn't know. And so there was a line I liked when they were talking about what would you tell your younger self, and Lisa said, "I would tell her not to fall in love with a megalomaniacal Danish terrorist. I would tell her not to fall in love with a megalomaniacal Danish terrorist." And
Okay.
I cracked up. I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, that would be good advice, actually."
Yes, exactly.
Okay, let's actually talk about that. So I thought that those scenes were good. They they kind of called into question this like thing around Robin and like whether or not Anna abandoned her. And at first I thought she meant around like um losing her memory because I'm like as soon as Anna realized whatever, she went right back to Robin. But I think it was really about like putting yourself in the position to have that happen to you. And did you do more harm than good? So I found that to be like an interesting conversation to have between those two characters, and I thought it was very well acted. I don't know, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was a great conversation. I'm not necessarily against cognizant of all the history between Robin and Amanda. And I kind of felt like there was a point where Robin kind of dropped, or Anna kind of dropped Robin off to Robert in the Scorpios and was out doing her WSB thing. That's what I thought it was about.
Mm.
Where she put her career over her daughter, and she might have missed out. She missed out on some things, especially in around the time of the diagnosis. I think Anna
Well,
wasn't
no, they
around.
were presumed dead.
Oh, okay.
Anna had
But
memory
yeah,
loss.
okay.
Yeah.
But I think that, her for me, I kind of just thought it was about Anna just putting her job and her choices above raising Robin. But I did think it was great, conversation, just, memory lane kind of thing. And yeah, I do agree. She was trying to find out if Liesel does know.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, they were just some really great scenes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
Yeah. Because, I watched All My Children before I watched GH. And so I
Mhm.
know Anna Devane from All My Children. So
Okay.
the reunion between, the Robert and Anna were presumed dead, which is
Hmm.
how Robin got with Stone and got so close to Sonny and with
Okay.
Mac and all of that. So the reunion between those two characters, Robin was already off the show and Anna was on AMC.
Hmm.
So the reunion that I saw before I had seen anything from GH was on All My Children. And so,
Hmm.
I mean, those actresses obviously have so much history and it was so powerful and beautiful. That is like kind of like the core memory of that character and those actors for me.
Hmm.
So at first I was like really defensive, like, wait a second, Anna had memory loss. Anna didn't know, like she didn't, but then I was like, oh, I guess it's like I said, it's more about putting yourself in the position to be in
Hmm.
a job that this could happen to you.
Hmm.
So anyhow, I thought those were really good scenes. And then I also liked, and this is kind of like the bridge with Anna around Jocelyn, because we have all questioned whether or not Jocelyn was like ready to be a spy. And Jocelyn's always been smart, always had good instincts, but I like that Anna named the Brennan played on her grief over Dex to
Hmm.
make to like put her in this position and that she actually wasn't ready because you
Hmm.
don't do spy boot camp for 6 weeks or whatever it was and then be ready to go on missions. And so it felt I think less offensive than like why is she a spy and who cares she's so stupid like I didn't appreciate like that conversation that like some of the audience was having just because I like Joss, and I think that Joss is really smart, and if she had the proper training, she could do this well. She's proved that she has good instincts, but Anna being like you did not train her. This is your fault. It's not about who
Hmm.
Jocelyn is instinctually. It's about like what it means to be a spy, what it means to be trained to be a spy, and I
Hmm.
really enjoyed Anna bringing that to Brennan.
Hmm. I kind of felt like, well, at first I didn't understand why they would train somebody so young. And
Well, Anna was young too.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. When I
Mm,
heard that, that's why I was like, oh, okay, so this is something that they do. They do go after young women or young people to do this work. I
hmm
mean, obviously, I mean, that's the same, with any military. Military goes after young folks first. They're not coming for, 40-year-olds talking about,
Right.
aren't my knee hurt? But um, but so that's when my understanding. But yeah, I do agree. It was kind of a trial by fire. It's like Brennan deliberately, when he found out about the loss, he deliberately put her in a situation where he magnified her suspicions about Cyrus, and then literally put her on his path, and and then blackmailed her about it. So
Yeah,
it's
essentially.
like, so yeah, essentially, she wasn't looking for it. She wasn't trying to be some spy or, be involved in the agency. And he kind of forced her into the situation, which is why everyone will be super mad when they find out. Now, she made the ultimate choice to go with it. But at the same time, he put her in that position, and that's it's horrible. And I
hmm
don't know if Anna has come to the conclusion that Jocelyn was directly involved in Cyrus's disappearance.
No, she hasn't.
But she hasn't yet, so she can't. But she's probably suspicious, highly suspicious about it. Um,
Yeah, because once she realizes that, like I think
yeah,
that that's not too far off because
yeah,
she knows that Jocelyn was on like the scent and all of those things. So
right,
I don't think she's far off from putting it together that this happened.
yeah,
I'm interested to see how she does that because, like I said, and like you said, she's already told him once Carly finds this out, the relationship is going to be different.
right.
And we've really played up the um, Jason Jocelyn relationship as well.
Hmm.
So, I mean, things have felt so separate, and I appreciate that they're like now converging.
Right. And
Um,
Has Anna had to kill somebody as part of the
I'm
job?
sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
can't imagine that she couldn't. Yeah.
that's another thing that I'm not sure if I don't even remember if the show has really dealt with in terms of Jocelyn. Jocelyn actually killed Cyrus. It was
hmm
somewhat in self-defense, but she killed somebody.
Right.
And they all think she's some innocent, but no, she's done some things. And
Yeah.
when folks find that out, they're not going to be happy. And I don't know if she's actually mentally dealt with that. Because,
No.
yeah, so, but they're trying to train her to come to a point where she will have to probably kill somebody. And what does that mean for her? Is that something that she really wants to do with her life? And having hopefully somebody, once it all comes out, hopefully Anna will be there for her to kind of help her, work through that.
Right.
Because I don't think she has. She's been so on the go and dealing with the assignment and trying to do what she's trying to do. She hasn't dealt with the fact of what she's already done. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be some really good scenes for her if they actually address it.
Right. I do hope that we get to see her like maybe processing some of that with Michael, considering
Yeah.
like what Michael had to do to Claudia.
Yeah.
There's so much there's so many parallels, there's so much story to tell. It just really does come down to whether or not they'll tell it.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Um,
Even whether it's Dante or Michael, like, you know, they both
hmm
have some experience, at
True.
least losing a life. But Dante would actually probably how he'll probably have a lot to say about this once he realizes that she was
Yeah.
actually manipulated into the life. Because he was a law enforcement officer. She's not. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of good story to tell once it all comes out.
Yeah. And I'm imagining that they're gonna tell something because they're reaffirming that Jocelyn is Dante's sister. So you have
Yeah.
Rocco calling Jocelyn his aunt, you
Uh-huh.
know. So I'm assuming there's gonna be some kind of familial something. And
Hmm.
I will also say this feels really dropped. Nothing about what Jocelyn is doing is connected to this goal of taking Sonny down. So that was just silly throwaway line they had her say a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, okay, get out of here. Um, I also want to know who Britt's boss is because like, we have this situation where she's at the four poppies, five poppies,
I poppies.
five poppies, however many, um, however many poppies, and she is like kind of petulant. Like I'm sure she's really tired. She's only really been there, though we did see her on a plane. So, but she's
Mm.
tired. She doesn't really have anybody. Everybody in her life that's very close to her thinks she's dead. Um, and she's upset. Like she's upset about like not being able to go out to dinner, not being able to, whatever it is. And so it really felt like this guy was kind of at her mercy, and it felt like she was more in charge. And then Friday's episode, he flipped the script and he was like, "Okay, I'm a, kind of snatched her up." And I was like, "Oh, not this little nerd being violent." and uh,
Right?
and she was like, "The boss won't like this." And he was like, "Well." So I'm like, damn, who's the boss? Is Faison alive? Because that would be
Right?
somebody who wouldn't like it.
Yeah. And it's wild. I mean, then she can't even sunbathe. She's like, I'm just trying to get a tan, dude. Like, and he's like, no, you need to be in the lab doing work.
Mhm.
Being in the lab is not a 24/7 job. She still gets breaks.
But I mean, it's also that like they have to like still keep up the appearances that she's dead.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
So,
They don't want her just, out and about doing stuff in the community, but
yeah,
I'm sure some people have seen her in and out of that, facility. Um, but yeah, and I don't know if it's similar, if it's a Robin situation where like kidnap Robin and have her working in the lab 24/7. It's different because she's at a resort.
right.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
and
also,
I
if it was a Faison thing, yeah, I doubt that he would just put her in at a resort. Like he would be at a compound.
yeah, who
Yeah.
knows? I mean, but also, I mean, because it also could be what's his name? Sidwell.
Sidwell, yeah.
Um,
Sidwell would put her in a resort.
he would put her in a resort. He also was like somewhat connected to the story. It does
Yeah,
feel like they're phasing out the Kane from YNR. Like it does feel like he's getting phased out of the story. So I don't know.
yeah.
Um, you
Stunt
know,
casting, very brief.
yeah. I mean, maybe he'll come back, but it does feel like we're moving beyond him.
Yeah.
Jocelyn quit the job. Emma, all of that. And I think the other difference is whatever Britt is working on is probably for her. Now, I don't know if she still has Huntington's or maybe that was a misdiagnosis.
Hmm.
It's tough. This was like my problem with the ALS diagnosis. When you have real diseases that people have, and you like as somebody who like loved somebody who had ALS and passed away, like I actually know what that disease does to a body. And so to watch it on this show, it was like borderline offensive. And
Hmm.
so the same thing with Huntington's. I'm sure people know and love people who have had Huntington's. So you're looking, you're like, if you're, is there a cure? Is there like therapy drug therapy? Like what's happening here? I do wish that they did more of like just made up soap diseases instead of real life diseases, to be honest.
Yeah. They have to be able to write this in a way that's acceptable because like we're doing with Liesel, some of the stuff we're gonna question.
Right.
Like medicine is, You can't just be making up stuff.
Right.
So yeah, we gotta
Right.
see. If you're gonna make up stuff, it has to be about a make-believe disease, not like a real one.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, let's get into Willow's apology tour, like very much changing gears. Oh, did you have anything else about this? Oh, I guess we forgot to name that like Joss and Vaughn are there, and they're posing as newlyweds.
Hmm.
I'm not into them as a pairing. I also think he's too old for her. Um, you know, no shame. She's grown. They can do what they want to do. But Justin's my baby, and I would like to see her in. And I think they've also always shown Joss as being super mature.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's my baby. I want her with somebody who's more age, who I feel is more age appropriate. I've watched this kid grow up. Okay, it's my white
I don't
niece.
like it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, and I just don't think they have it. And I've said this so many times, and I'll say it again and put it in the atmosphere because maybe it could still happen. I don't know how Evan feels about the show. They should have always had this end with
Hmm.
Evan being in the position that Vaughn is in, or Dex being in that position. That she went
Hmm.
through all this. Did she found like Dex comes back? He was never dead. She finds out that she was always Dex's mark, something like that, and then the story would have been them working their way back to each other. We already had somebody she had chemistry with. We already had somebody that the audience likes, um, and was familiar with. Why put in somebody else who's like a older Timu Dex? Like it's not
Yeah,
necessary.
it's not too late. Like Vaughn could defect and actually be on like the enemy side. And then here comes Dex coming back alive to rescue Jocelyn.
Yes.
It could still happen. So,
Yes.
writers take note.
Yeah. I had a soft spot for Jex. I did. I had a soft
Hmm.
spot for them. And I have a really big soft spot for Evan, and
Yeah.
his portrayal of Dex. So
Yeah.
I think it's maybe because I watched all the behind the scenes stuff that he used to do with like Tabiana and Jacqueline, and like, I liked him.
He's cute.
Yeah. And he's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I did, like, by the way, mention the daddy Dex theory to Dante, or to Dom. He was like, yeah. He was like, nah.
Meh. Oh, he didn't like the idea of being Dex's dad.
I don't think
Oh,
he cared about it, but I think he likes the Geo story.
yeah.
Yeah. So okay, Willow. Let's get into we're switching gears with another story. Willow is on her apology tour. Um, okay,
Sorta.
kind of.
Yeah. She's only apologized to Carly, right?
Yeah, but like she sees Chase and she's like, I'm so glad to see you. So, okay. I'm trying to even think where to start. I I never like subscribed to this idea that because Willow cheated on Michael or cheated on Dex. Let me start over.
Nice.
I never subscribed to this idea that because Willow cheated on Chase with
Hmm.
Michael, that made her some sort of maniacal cheater. I think that that was an impossible situation. It was soapy. I would have loved for Chase to have gotten even because that would have been soapy and good for his character, but not because I believed that Michael and Willow were like some sort of evil people for doing it. She married him because she thought he was dying. And her and Michael were already in love, all the things. When she cheated on Michael, her and Michael had been married, they had kids together, they were building a life together, like they had gone into everything like
Hmm.
with each other. So the idea that these are like similar situations or that Willow is just a cheater because of this, I just never subscribed to in that same way. I get it, it's funny when people say it, but I just never subscribed to it. So I hated seeing her talk to Chase. I was a Chillo fan back in the day. I liked Chase and Willow and Michael and Sasha. I liked that foursome, and I actually don't think they should have broken them up in the way that they broke them up. Um, and I also like Chaylin. I I'm stuck. I didn't like Chase and Willow's like the conversation, her being manipulative to him. Because make no mistake, it was manipulative. And for some reason, it feels like almost the audience has to have things be written out for them. But it's not lost on me. This happened with two different scenes or two different couples that while Willow is talking to Chase, Michael is talking to Dante about knowing what Willow did to Daisy.
Hmm.
So don't ever forget that Willow is going through the motions and doing what she needs to do, or she thinks she needs to do to get those kids back. She does not internalize anything that she has done wrong.
Right.
I don't know. How did you feel about the scenes?
Um, I mean, I didn't think of it in terms of Willow and Chase eventually getting together. I think it was more about Chase still, Willow knowing that Chase is really the only friend she had. I
Hmm.
mean, especially when, even before the marriage, before like the hospital scenes where he was actually kind of letting her know, like she come to the realization the relationships that she's had has been problematic. So I assumed that she would go back to Chase because again, he's the only one that she feels comfortable talking to about her relationships outside of Elizabeth.
Hmm.
And she sees him as the only other friend that she has outside, I guess, Isaiah now. Um, but the close past friend. So he's like comfortable. I didn't see her as a threat to Chaylin or the possibility of them getting back together. Now, in terms of whether or not she is consciously manipulating him, I'm not quite sure. I do agree she has not internalized how she has really been wrong and how she actually lost her kids, not everybody else. I think she is still desperate to try to get to her kids. Um, Even though she's saying, well, I know I have a lot of work to do and all this other stuff. She's probably is on an apology tour. We've only just seen the actual apology to Carly. And I'm glad that Carly is not buying it. She's like, whatever. I heard the same thing from her sister,
Hmm.
whatever. She's like, I don't trust it. Now, Case going back to Michael and being like, Michael, can you forgive her? I do think it was a little out of pocket.
I
I
thought it
think
was a
he
lot of
should
out
have,
of pocket.
yeah, I think he should have just stayed in his lane. But yeah, if you want to be a friend of Willow, be a friend of Willow. But to actually interfere in the custody is inappropriate, and he had no business doing that. Chase is constantly, trying to be the hero to everybody. Like, nah, that's not right. And so he was wrong. And so I didn't necessarily like that part. Um, but I don't begrudge Willow having friends because, like, Elizabeth said to Drew, she's not entirely alone. She may feel like she is, but she's not. She does have people in her corner, but she also needs to chill out and actually act right if she really wants to get her kids, and she's still not doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't begrudge her, I guess, having friends. Though I
Yeah.
will say, so Elizabeth brought up, like people lie, whatever, whatever, and she was clearly bringing up her past with like Drew when they thought he was Jason, all of that. And if
Hmm.
you really remember, and this is why I'm not surprised that Elizabeth is there for Willow, because if you remember,
Hmm.
Elizabeth didn't really have nobody. That's how she
Hmm.
ended up being with Franco
Well,
in the first place,
yeah,
because she was a
Elizabeth
pariah.
had nobody. Willow still isn't a nobody.
Willow
Currently,
is
people,
still not a
Willow's not a
pariah.
no. Right. Exactly.
She's not. And people still have all of this sympathy and empathy for her. And
Hmm.
so I appreciated like the difference between like Carly being like, I do not trust you and you don't need to apologize to me anyway,
Right.
versus Sonny being like, we gotta talk about Sonny's lack of loyalty to Michael anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but having Sonny be essentially nice to her and her being like, he's supposed to be ruthless, but he's nice to me. Shut up, girl. I just have nothing for Willow, and I believe that she's being manipulative. Now, I understand as a mother being desperate to see your children, and I think that and I will also say that I believed that she should have gotten like visitation. I didn't think that she should have full custody, especially while she was with Drew. I also like don't feel bad for her because she wasn't going to give Michael anything. They were
Right.
so snotty
Mm.
about everything.
Mug.
Smug. They thought they had it in the bag.
Hmm.
So all of this, they need their mother. They also need their father. And you were not doing that. You never paid attention to whether or not Wiley had like liked Drew. She's all like, Wiley loves Drew. Wiley and Amelia love Drew. Wiley is like, I don't want to be around that man.
And I think they tolerated Drew as an uncle, as a cousin, but
Yeah,
never with the idea that he's gonna be my stepdad.
no,
No,
no.
that wasn't the behavior that they were doing.
And because she was uncomfortable, she never thought about these kids first. It's still
Right.
this mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna just create this thing away. You're
Right.
moving your kids to DC for what? Even
No
when you were in a
reason.
good relationship with Nina, like their grandparents are there, their whole family is in Port Charles, and you're moving them to DC because you are uncomfortable.
Mm.
You are not a good parent. So I under like, you know, I understood full custody of Michael, visitation of Willow, but now knowing what happened with Daisy, and she was not sorry. She was smiling about it. She was
Oh
happy
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything for Willow. I just like, where's Kevin Collins? Before you see some kids, Kevin Collins, I know you playing around at Beyond the Gates. We need you here. We need a therapist to come see this woman, or bring in somebody else so Willow can say we sent Willow to see the lady because
Yeah.
there's no way. Even after all these breakdowns, you just back at work chilling. Ain't nobody check to see if he's okay.
I think that was also stipulated in the visitation, like when the judge was just like, yeah, after some, well,
The
the judge
kids have
said
to
that the
get,
kids needed it.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, Willow needs it too.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So like I said, I appreciated like that conversation happened at the
Hmm.
same time that Michael was able to like put together that Willow was the person that was behind Daisy.
Hmm.
And Dante was like, "You want to put out a police report?" And Michael was like, "No." I was like, "Michael, what you about to do?
Right.
What you about to do, Michael?" Um, we shall see. We shall see. Um, and then like let's get into like a little bit more into like Chase having this conversation with Michael at the pool.
Hmm.
I also didn't care for it because it was already after he had had this disagreement with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I just was not a fan. And it just makes Chase look silly.
Yeah.
And he's
And then
like,
also,
"Oh, sorry, go ahead."
so now it does kind of play into the whole idea of a shakeup of Chaylin because they're introducing conflict into Chaylin. I hope that doesn't lead to Chase, catching feelings for Willow because Brooklyn is disappointing to him, in terms of the whole family thing. But yeah, no.
I don't think that Chase and Brooklyn are going anywhere. I
Right.
think that they'll be together, but
Okay.
I do think that Chase is going to end up looking really silly. I wonder, for me, Isaiah keeps talking about this cabin. So one of two things are about to happen in this cabin. Either Isaiah and Portia finna have an affair there, or Willow is going to kidnap her kids and take them kids to the cabin, or both.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that, like they keep talking about this cabin. Willow knows about it. Willow, even at the same time, tells Isaiah about Portia being blackmailed. Like, oops, my
She did
bad.
that?
Yeah, so they were talking, and
Did I fall asleep?
you probably did. So Willow and Isaiah were talking at the hospital. This is like part of her, like, "Oh my God, you're so horrible" conversations. And he was like,
Right.
"Well, I'm glad you found out." And she was like, "Yeah, I should have known." Like, even when Portia said that he was blackmailing her, I didn't even care. Isaiah was like,
Oh.
"Er?" And
Oh.
she was like, "Oh, please don't repeat this." And he was like, "Okay, I got you."
Okay. All right.
So I think that this is going to be a case of Chase. because Chase and Sasha were close. And so
Hmm.
Chase then also says to Willow that he will like support her at her custody hearing. Like he'll testify for her. I'm
Hmm.
like, you know who ain't gonna like that? Monica. So Shaylin, y'all might need to be looking out for your own place because you helping Willow get them kids from Michael. Monica not gonna like that. Monica's gonna say absolutely not.
Sunny's not gonna like it either.
Nah, Sonny. Okay, so let's get into Sonny. Let's get into
Well,
Sonny
yeah.
Deception Sidwell. So Sonny is doing all this with this DA. The DA hurts herself. They go to the hospital. Willow comes over, and Sonny's like, "Can't she get a new doctor or a new nurse?" That already didn't make sense because Sonny, you're not the patient. Like, what are you talking about? But Sonny started running his mouth to the DA.
Well, we know that what that's about because somehow Sidwell had talked about it with, her Latino son, and he's going to use the fact that the judge got a whole bunch of money, and now that the DA knows about it, when she finds out about the bunch of money in the judge bank
Yeah, she's gonna
account,
put it together.
she's
Yeah.
gonna put it together.
So for people who aren't watching the show, who are only watching us, so we already know that Sidwell paid off this judge to give
Hmm.
Michael full custody.
Right.
The what he explained to Marco, aka Latino son, was that shout out to Tara for these names, by the way, from
Right.
Court Misery. So what he explained to Marco was that he did that so that there was a large sum of money that was untraceable that went into the judge's account around the time of the hearing. And
Hmm.
so if anybody looks into it, it will make it look as if Sonny did
Did
it.
it.
And it will then turn like the court hearing or court ruling will be overturned. And then when
Hmm.
Willow appeals, then it'll look
Hmm.
better for her. So that's like the plan. So Sonny obviously is talking to this like DA and it's like, oh yeah, I was surprised this thing happened with the judge. And the lady was like, well, did you think that your son didn't deserve it? Do you think it was wrong? Here's the thing about Sonny. How many times have you tried to take people's kids? You was just trying to take Avery from Ava.
Hmm.
You stopped because you had a bad heart. That's why you
Hmm.
stopped. I've
Hmm.
I've seen you try to take away kids from Carly before. So all of a sudden you understand why Wiley and Amelia need Willow when you don't even know what's going on.
Right. But he has consistently been
Disloyal to Michael.
he's consistently been trying to get them to reconcile or do joint custody. So, um, yes, he's been disloyal in that sense, because wanting to avoid, because he knows the trauma that he put Michael through, him and Carly during their divorce sagas.
But did he know it was Avery?
He don't care because Ava is horrible in his eyes. Ava killed his son. Don't forget.
I know. I'm real
But
clear.
in terms of Willow, he's still like we said, everyone feels sorry for Willow and feels like Willow is an innocent victim. Um, so I don't know.
I mean,
But
but I'm just
yeah.
saying, like, Sonny has a loyalty problem when it comes to Michael.
Mhm.
What did he do with when Nina wanted the little grandparents' rights? Went
Oh
right up
yeah.
on the stand
And
and
testified against
testified for Nina
right.
against his son after
Hmm.
Sky had already tried to drag his son.
Hmm.
After Michael got dragged, I'm still mad about it. After Michael got dragged by Scott, then he was comforting Nina.
Right.
I ain't forgot, Sonny. I ain't forgot. Like anyway, we don't have to get into that. Just know I'm still mad about it. Um, so yeah, and I think the other part that's like really so let me not lose this thing. I think it was also funny because we keep seeing Sonny with his like new Brenda bot, his new We've seen this story many, many times of Sonny sleeping with like a law enforcement person.
Hmm.
And so when they were kind of like flirting or fighting or whatever they were doing, Jason was like, "What is this?" And I appreciated that Sonny at least had a strategy. He was like, "I want people to see us together so
Yeah.
that if and when she brings charges, because she's building a case, she'll have to recuse herself because she'll look biased." I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work, but at least there's a plan there.
Hmm. She doesn't, I mean, she can bring charges, she don't have to prosecute.
Right.
So,
At least there's a plan there. But yeah, you're totally right. She's 100% gonna look into this judge and she's gonna be the one who finds out this thing about Michael.
yeah.
Um, we also have Marco and Lucas, and really similar to how they had like Chase talking to Willow while Michael was talking about Daisy so that we remember what we're talking about. We have Lucas going hard at Carly about how much he hates Sonny, how Sonny's horrible, at the same time that we see Marco sitting with his daddy mobbing.
Yes. Straight mobbing.
Interesting, Lucas. You move in with Ava from
Right. That
Carly's
shocked me.
house?
That shocked me. And he didn't mention that. And as soon as Carly finds out, she's gonna go ballistic. I was
You
like,
move in with
wow.
Ava in
And
her
not
little baby
Marco.
apartment?
And not Marco.
And not by yourself, you a doctor. You the one who brought it up.
Right.
As if, look, you got all of these like morals and values when it comes to Sunny, but nothing when it comes to Ava.
Right. And that's what gets me about this whole moral equivalency thing because his dad was Julian Jerome. And he was starting to, well, kind of not really. He didn't have a lot to do with Julian.
They were in relationship with each other until he found out about Wiley.
Wiley, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But he can't be on a high horse about Sonny when he has still has Ava in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Was
yeah,
not a fan. But
yeah.
also, let's also think about the fact that in a roundabout way, Marco could be putting Wiley in danger because he
Hmm.
now knows about this whole custody situation with Michael. So here's your
Hmm.
boo, who you want everybody to know is your boo, and you want them to take your relationship seriously. Part of what Carly was saying is that you don't even know this man.
Right.
Right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. Sonny ain't doing none Carly don't know about. Sonny shot a Fed in the chest and used the lightning and thunder as a like bullet silencer and came and was like, Carly, you got me, and Carly said, yeah, I got you. Like there's no lies, there's nothing anymore. Like the last lie that they had between them was the affair. And ever since then, it's been like we gonna be,
Hey, it's 100. She
yeah,
knows
she
everything.
knows
It doesn't
everything now.
matter. Right.
And so, yeah, like I actually really like Lucas. I love this recast of Lucas. I think he's
Hmm.
so talented. He is so good on screen with everybody. Phenomenal.
Hmm.
Um, I like Marco. I think he's handsome. I think him and Lucas have amazing chemistry. This pairing, I don't like what they're doing with them. Because at first I compared it to like OG Lante and that disloyalty, but at least Lulu knew who Dante was.
Hmm.
You got Marco just over here or I'm sorry, Lucas over here capping for Marco and don't even know what this man is on.
Yep. And the fallout is going to be juicy. I like it. I like this conflict
Mm,
for the actor because I think he's
yeah,
getting some really juicy scenes. I think his character is kind of annoying with this new take, but the fallout is going to be juicy and they're going to have some really great scenes.
yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yes.
Because and I love that you said that because I think that so
Hmm.
often like when we complain about a story or we don't like
Right.
something, I don't have to like something to understand why it's happening. I
Yeah.
hate Drew. I get the point of Drew. I get
Yeah.
how he galvanizes the audience. I get what he's doing. Same thing with
Hmm.
Willow. I could talk all day about how much I can't stand Willow, but I'm gonna give Katie her tens. Baby girl
Yeah.
is acting. She is letting you
Right.
know, and that's what I appreciate about Katie. This is a side note, is that as Katie as Willow, is that she's putting
Uh-huh.
that work in. She is in
Yeah.
acting classes. She's talked publicly about that, and she's doing stage shows. She is
Yeah.
honing her craft, and it really shows in this change in Willow because we've always
Yes.
only had Willow be kind of this one way. And not that
Yeah.
she couldn't act, but it was like, a little vanilla, a little boring, whatever.
Right.
She's putting her foot in Dark
Hmm.
Willow.
Hmm. And I mean, I kind of feel the same way about Alexa Havens and Lulu.
Yeah,
I know you were never excited about her coming back, but I knew that Alexa was going to put her foot into it, and she is. She's
yeah,
annoying the hell out of me, and I can't stand her.
yeah,
But man, that actor is just doing it. She's doing a
yeah.
great job,
She's
right?
doing an
So,
amazing job. And I just wanted to make sure that we said
yeah,
that because
yeah.
there too often when you don't like a character, people like put that on the actor. Alexis
Hmm.
Lulu is doing exactly what Alexis Lulu should be doing.
Right.
And honestly, she's doing it so well that this week I felt for her because when they said that, Britt was as much as Britt or Rocco as much as Britt baby as hers, I said absolutely not. I don't even like Lulu, and I said, oh no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's
This
kind
show
of
is getting a
wild.
little too funky when it comes to like pregnancies and like
Right.
motherhood and all of that.
Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate you bringing that side note because they've been doing what they need to do. Which is why I always say GH has the best actors in daytime. Um, but in addition to like some of this like Sidwell, Marco, Sonny story, is that the Ladies of Deception at Sidwell's behest essentially to Tracy have decided to
Hmm.
not turn Sonny in for this like dirty money investment. Which
Hmm.
always also was like, if y'all paid Sonny the money back and all this, like what are we even talking about? Who cares? It's so
Right.
silly.
Exactly.
Um, and so everybody voted to like not do it, like to not turn Sunny in, except for Maxie. So I am a little worried for Maxie because there's like this whole thing, like maybe she'll say something to Mac, and they even said that to Sidwell. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh no, we know Maxie is going to be exiting for like a time for the rest of the year. She's coming back, but she'll be exiting. So I do wonder if this is going to be a part of her exit.
And Kirsten Storms was like, it's going to be a good story. And
Right.
I was like, so yeah. Mm.
So I yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm
Yeah.
interested in Sidwell. I like that they have not presented him as a good guy. He is
Right.
who he is, and
Hmm.
so that is what makes him easier to like see as who he is. He has like this legitimate business, and I think they've done a good job of like saying that the illegitimate stuff that he does overseas can't really be prosecuted in the United States, and that helps
Right.
him have a little bit more like longevity as a villain on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a definitely different than, like the Cassadines.
Hmm.
Because I mean the Cassadines were definitely doing some illegal stuff, but they were doing wild, crazy, fantastical stuff,
Yeah.
which should be prosecuted no matter what. Not
True.
to say that what Sidwell was doing shouldn't be prosecuted. It's just different, it's a different kind of crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so is there anything else we want to say about Sunny Sidwell, blah blah blah? Oh, I also enjoyed the scenes where Brooklyn was telling Sunny
Uh-huh.
about them not turning him in.
Yeah.
I will say something I think the show lacks is a reliable narrator. And I say that because I think it's perfectly fine for characters to feel how they feel
Mm-hmm.
and to like be wrong or to say whatever, but you actually do need somebody who grounds them in the truth. So
Right.
like I said this when Lulu was like looking for uh Brooklyn's son and was like, she's a horrible person and she did this and she was lying. You needed somebody to like ground that and be like, Lulu can think that, but actually what happened is this.
Hmm.
Like somewhere in the narrative, somebody needed to ground it. And I
Yeah.
think it was not as bad, but similar of Brooklyn telling Sonny that Lulu did all of this to hurt her.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that hurting Lulu wasn't a bonus or hurting Brooklyn wasn't a bonus for Lulu, but I am saying that that wasn't her main purpose. She truly did want to give Dante back his kid.
Yeah.
Like, that is what she wanted to do. I don't think she was right about that. I don't think she should have done it. I don't think any of that. But I do think that because of her relationship with Dante, because she was in love with him, because she's close to him, she thought that it was on her to be like, you have this son and here he is. And we need somebody to like ground that. Yeah, of course she hates Brooklyn and she's happy that Brooklyn was hurt, I'm sure. But that wasn't the main focus. And I think that that's like necessary to be said.
Yeah, I mean, she did say that, but I personally feel like she just wanted to get back at Brooklyn.
Yeah,
And she wanted Dante back. And she wanted to bring Dante's son back to him.
yeah. I think
One
all of
thing,
that is true, but
yeah,
I just don't think that going at Brooklyn was her primary. And again, I do not like Lulu, but I don't think that
okay.
was her primary motivation.
One thing also I want to talk about is I thought it was what was wild was Drew actually threatening Sidwell over. I was like, what do you have on Sidwell to make you feel confident that you can threaten him? I
Certainly,
didn't.
this must be setting up a whodunit because ain't
Right.
no way.
He's just like, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. I'm like, with what? What are you gonna do that Sonny couldn't do that would actually scare Sidwell? Like that was wild.
No, hated it,
He had a crazy moment like Liesel.
hated it. So we got two more big stories. We got Curtis and Portia have decided to give it another
Mhm.
try. Um, But at the same time of them deciding to give it another try, we have Curtis flirting with Jordan and Portia kimming it up with Isaiah.
Now I kind of feel like the thing with Isaiah is a little one-sided on Isaiah's part because he was definitely flirting with her. He's
Yeah,
like,
it
"Oh,
was.
so you coming back? That's good for me," all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And she was just like, and yeah, my marriage is coming back, So, but he was definitely laying it down thick. I was like, "All right now, sir."
I'm not gonna lie to you. I like it.
I mean, it was just very obvious it was one sided, but yeah, he is hecka cute,
What's
and
their
I
what's their
oh,
name? Pisaiah?
oh
Por no. I
what
Orsha?
just is
I
I don't know.
Orsha? Anyway, whatever it is, I like it. I'm a fan. I want it. The other thing I don't want is Drew, or not Drew, I'm sorry, Curtis and Portia. I don't want that. Or I'm sorry, y'all, I can't talk. My brain is broken. I've had too much caffeine today. What I don't want is Curtis and Jordan.
Now, what was up with when Isaiah saw Portia and Jordan? He had this look on his face, and it wasn't like, "Ooh, they're together." I'm gonna tell Portia. It was more like, "What the hell?" And it was very sinister. I felt
Mm.
like, are they gonna turn Isaiah into a sinister character? I don't know if
I,
I like that.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
I
I
hope.
think that, I mean, I don't know, but I think that what it really was like he is friends with Portia. He respects
Mhm.
Portia.
Yeah,
And she just told him that she was going to be working on her marriage for him to then come upon this thing with Jordan and Curtis. That's
yeah.
what I think it
Jordan,
was.
Jordan in the park kikiing with with Curtis was not like
J-
a good look.
Jordan is actually annoying me a little bit, if I'm being honest. Because this whole thing, again, like you're working with East African Warlord. You,
Sidwell, for
d-
those who don't know the
yeah,
nickname.
you don't have any like protection from the law. So you're undercover with no one.
Yeah. It's just weird.
You're
I just
just
thought it was
doing
weird.
illegal things, actually.
Right.
And then it was like this almost bright. She was like, I actually like the job and it's challenging and it's this and it's that. Girl, what?
And,
And now
and
she bought
I
a
got
big
this
apartment.
now this new apartment, the whole floor.
I
That's silence of disbelief for those who are just listening.
I'm just like, what are they doing? Jordan is too beautiful to not be having a real fine love interest. And I'm really annoyed. And I don't want her like spitting the block on Curtis. Enough of that. So this is just like very annoying. And at the
Mm.
same time, we have um Aunt Stella peeping the Paisaia chemistry.
She saw it real quick.
She said, hold on. Clock that tea. And so she, and so they talk, and at the same time they talk, they hug. Because I do really love the Stella Portia relationship. Obviously, like Drew sees it, and
Mhm.
uses his position as a congressperson, and he's gonna report Stella for insurance fraud after helping Martin get treatment. Drew,
Causing some mess.
it's
Like,
time for
sir,
you to die. Enough.
you can't even wait a month before you start to mess with Curtis again. Uh-uh.
I hate him so much. Yeah, I was not a fan. Um,
So on social media, someone put out a tweet, a list of all the people that want to see Drew die. And
I
someone,
said they shift to it.
yeah, and then they were like, number four, Wiley. I was like, that's wild. But it's true. It's so true.
It was like anybody who's watched Love Actually, where the kid is like, I hate Uncle Jamie. That's how I feel like Wiley be talking about Drew. I hate Uncle Drew. He gets a little British accent and everything. Drew's
Not Uncle Jamie. That was
terrible.
wild. That was wild.
My other
But what?
question is, so Jordan says to Curtis, like, oh, great, like this happened, now we can be friends. In what world do y'all think, after everything that has transpired, that Portia is like, oh, great, all good, we could be friends? Baby girl splashed you at the pool. It was about to throw hands about her man,
Right. Doing,
facilitated you to walk in on them about to get it on the desk. And you like,
yeah.
oh, cool, we can be friends again. No, you
No.
cannot be friends.
No. It's not happening. She's
Silly.
Lulu.
Um, and then the last thing I have is the blackmailing Alexis story. So much has happened with underneath this umbrella. First of all, Molly is Team Lyric. Like,
Right?
um, she's obviously rewriting her romance novels, tells her dad. You got Rick and Ava basically being on the same trifling page, which I loved, where they were like, we need to like sever ties, but I need to protect myself. So Rick
Hmm.
is like hiring Martin to help him sever ties with Ava over the blackmail. And Ava is going directly to Alexis and is like, if you give me one more like fat payment, then I will give you everything that you need so that like Christina can't be blackmailed at all anymore.
Hmm.
Um, Alexis looked funny. She looked like, dang, I can't believe Christina's plan actually worked. And I think that Christina can't believe it worked either because when Ava took out that ice when they were at the pool, it was rubbing it on herself and then rubbed it on Cody. I gasped. I was gooped and gagged. I said, outside? In public? I'm talking about mouth open the whole way. Had to, please, because I could not believe it. And
Right.
then when Christina was supposed to go to the pool with Molly, she went ahead of her and walked in on Ava and Cody kissing at the pool.
When
What?
when Ava decides to go on revenge, I mean, first I was shocked at Rick talking about asking Elizabeth out on dates within earshot of Ava. Ava brought it up a notch. was like, "Oh, you think you could be trifling? Bet." she
Ava said, I'm
she
not the
did.
one or the
She
two.
was not. Yeah, yeah. Don't. So that was
Woo!
Ava's funny.
I said, one thing about Ava is she do keep her little PYT.
All right.
Now, Tanya, I don't want you to hang up.
Oh.
I kind of like it.
I like it for Ava. I do not appreciate Cody being in the mix, but hey, if Ava needs to get her freak on, fine.
I
But
love how messy it is.
it is hecka messy. And I like the fact that Ava is not someone to be pushed over. She sees she's being disrespected, she will disrespect right back and she will hurt your feelings. I'm here for it. Cody, whatever, I don't care. But yeah. Rick thinks that he can put one over on somebody. He
I said, oh, babes, you don't know. Like, Ava Jerome is not Nina Reeves, sweetheart. You're not going to be
right.
able to do it. It's not going to be
No,
that easy.
no. And watch. Well, I don't know. Here's what I'm thinking, what I'm hoping might happen, because I'm not necessarily a fan of Lyric. If like once Rick finds out that he's actually met his match, he might actually be like, okay, well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is a lot more interesting than me chasing after Elizabeth.
Well, and Elizabeth still thinks that Rick is doing this Willow stuff pro bono. So
Right.
so Rick already lying to Liz got two lie irons in the fire. The
Hmm.
first around the blackmail of Alexis and stealing from this baby,
Right.
this Casanova baby. And then the second is this like pro bono thing. Smaller lie, but you lying still.
Yeah.
So
And she's placing a lot of, energy on that one little lie. So she's going to be devastated when she hears about it. So,
yeah. Oof. But yeah, I didn't hate it. Do you have anything else? I do have one hot take from a story that I did not bring up last week, but do you have anything else from this week?
uh, no, go ahead.
So I was a little, so y'all know I'm a Carly fan. Um, and I was a little annoyed that last week, or week, really the week before, Carly was
Hmm.
talking to Jason and kind of was like, yeah, the reason I got with Drew was because of you. Like basically
Uh,
like I wanted to like have this connection to you. And I just really feel like it is so unfortunate that Carly regresses so much as a character when she's around Jason, and that's not necessary. It's
mm,
okay for their friendship to not include Carly regression, because
mm,
when Jason was presumed dead last time, we saw Carly grow up a lot. We saw her handle stuff, and Drew like would come and be a partner to her. But the only time we really saw Drew kind of save her is when he went to jail with her or for her. When she lost
right.
the Metro Court, she's like, you know what? I lost it, but I'm gonna like do what I need to do at Kelly's, now Bobby's, and take care of
Hmm.
that. Okay, I lost this. I'm gonna like get up on my own 10 toes. Like that was who Carly was without Jason. And to see her
Yeah.
regress, even when first came back, she was like, well, I need your number. What happens if I need you? Well, what was you doing when Jason was presumed dead? Who was you calling then?
Right.
How was you taking
Right.
care of business then?
Right.
And so I would have loved to have Jason walk in on Carly being resilient and resourceful and like naming that as opposed to feeling like he had to like kind of go back into this savior mode of her. Because
Right.
even if we get Jabrit, it's gonna converge with Jason or with Carly finding out about who Brennan is. And
Hmm.
so what we're gonna have him saving her again?
And will this be another like Carly always getting in the middle of Jason's relationships and then
Yeah,
the other woman just constantly annoyed by Carly? I don't want to have to deal with that so much again. Yeah.
right,
So I don't know. Yeah, I appreciated that Carly did come on her own. She had her own power. She was able to take care of herself when she hit rock bottom. And
right.
then as soon as Jason comes back, it's like Jason's buying the Metro Court for me, and Jason's rescuing is always coming to my rescue, and all this other stuff. And no, right now we have Carly at her peak, you know, independence, glamour, beauty, power, all that other stuff. You see everybody and their mama coming to Carly asking her to fix things.
Right.
And so even though she doesn't need to, I think we should keep that. I think Carly's a
Yeah.
powerful woman on her own. She doesn't need to have Jason be her clutch. Yeah, they can be best friends, but she can handle things on her own. She doesn't need a man.
Right. And that was like, I mean, I know a lot of people didn't
Right.
particularly care for Crew, but that was like part
Right.
of what I liked about Crew, that she was
Right.
like, I can handle it. She was even
Mhm.
scheming by herself. Like,
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I got for this week. Do you have anything else before we hop into? Oh, because the other thing also about the whole like Drew Jason thing, we already saw that with Franco. We already did, it was weird then, it's weird now.
Mm.
Unnecessary. Anyway, anything else before we do previews?
Nope.
Previews for next week, Monday. Anna warns Jason. Jocelyn and Vaughn check into the Five Poppies. Britt is threatened. Alexis ponders a legal maneuver. Tracy is disappointed in Cody. Tuesday, Drew encounters Willow. Jason summons Alexis. Oh, we did forget to talk about that. That Alexis came over to talk to Monica, and ended up talking to Jason instead about Scout. Yeah, about keeping Scout in town. Okay. Carly confronts Marco. Chase is ordered to make an arrest. Emma is determined. Huh. Britt is reprimanded. Oh, this is Wednesday. Britt is reprimanded. Anna demands intel from Brennan. Willow briefs Elizabeth. Rocco reassures Gio. Drew makes a stunning declaration.
Mm.
Thursday, Dante and Brooklyn strategize. Michael encourages Gio. Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to that scene. I want to see them together. Um, Stella urges Kai to fight for Trina. Stella, stop doing this. Chase confides in Willow. hmm Molly tries to reason with Drew. Friday, Jason is a man on a mission. Isaiah asks Felicia for advice. Curtis is shaken. Drew manipulates Michael. Joss is frustrated.
Mm.
Okay.
What does Drew have? He must have something up his sleeve.
I do wonder if
Mm.
Drew finds out about the judge.
Oh. Mm.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, that's gonna happen next week. I'm tired of Drew taking W's. I want him L's only.
Right.
Anyway. All right. Well, thank you for staying with us. If you stay to the end, make sure to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you are on YouTube, you can get in the comments. If you are on any other platform, you can send us, I think it's called fan mail. You can also get into those comments. But yeah, we love to hear from you. You can also buy us a coffee. We appreciate you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.